Hey everybody, this is Bob. Welcome to Holly World. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing. Um, the figure I have is right here. It's Nuke from Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Captain America series. And the figure that you can build if you collect the six figures in this series is Giant Man. We're going to look at the back. And on the back we can see the six pieces you need to collect in order to make Giant Man, and the figures that you get in order to make him, which is Captain America, Iron Man Mark 46, Black Panther, Nuke, who we have, they were going to open, Nick Fury, and Red Guardian. From the looks of the back of the packaging, it looks like the first three figures may be MCU related. I can definitely tell that the Captain America is. However, Nuke and Red Guardian aren't in the MCU as of yet. Well, Nuke is in Jessica Jones. He's on the television show in one form or another. This Nick Fury, however, also isn't in the MCU. If you couldn't tell when you watched the Marvel movies, Nick Fury's black, played by Samuel L. Jackson. So yeah, this figure it's not new by any means, meaning it didn't just come out recently. I'm looking at the box, it came out in 2015. So it came out 3 years ago. But I really wanted this to be my first unboxing video. I just got this figure last week. And it's a figure that I had saw in stores years ago, probably in 2015. And I wasn't collecting the Marvel Legends, but I was always a fan of toys. I think I saw this when I was looking to see if Walmart had any Funko Pop action figures or Funko Pop figures. And I saw this. And I believe at the time I saw Red Guardian, and both of those just looked super cool. But obviously I didn't get either of them, and it took me 3 years to get Nuke. So I'm going to go ahead and start the unboxing. He's got tape right here, so I'm going to go ahead and slice into this with this razor. And that was easy. There's another piece over here. So this is the first Marvel Legend that I've bought since before 2010. Haven't bought one since. At least not one that I've taken out of the box. I actually own a Tiger Shark, which is a different series. But this Tiger Shark, it didn't come with its piece for Ultron. And that's kind of the reason why I didn't take it to sell. I'm going to go ahead and take out this Giant Man torso. You can see it's very detailed. Listen to that crunch. Haven't heard anything like that in a while. When I was taking it out, I actually thought these ribbings here, let me get you in focus. I actually thought that was, sometimes there's plastic pieces that keep it in there. I don't know if that's to stop people who may want to slice the plastic, this part, and try to take parts out, or if it's just to keep it from flopping around. So this is the Giant Man torso. More than likely, I can probably, actually I'll say with 100%, I'll never build Giant Man. I don't really care for Giant Man. The other figures in the back of this series don't really interest me, except for maybe, like I said, that Red Guardian. The Nick Fury looks kind of cool, but I'm not really concerned. You see right here, Nuke has a gun. It's painted red, blue, and silver. It's got a little star. This is very Americana, so you should already know where this is going if you've been following the Tumblr. Nuke's gonna go in the display case with the Americana stuff. Here's his little knife. Looks pretty dangerous. It's got the little silver tip. It's black steel. It's plastic, but it's black steel. Army green handle, just like his outfit. And here's his little second head. He has a second head. I don't know all guys have second hands. This does not want to focus on them. There we go. Look at that. So if you didn't know anything about him and you saw this head, you would obviously think he has some sort of cybernetics. He looks like the Terminator in a way. He's got the face paint. I'll be honest, I don't know crap about Nuke. I know that he is like a Daredevil villain, I want to say, which makes sense. As I was saying earlier, he is in Jessica Jones. I haven't finished watching season 2, so I don't know the extent of what he does. But he is in the first season as well, briefly. Those are the accessories. Let's look at the man of the hour himself. There he is. Again, this camera does not want to stay focused. It doesn't want you guys to see all the glory that is Nuke. And I'm looking at his head. He's got the little flat top. He's very military. He's got the face paint, the American flag face paint, which is one of the reasons why I decided to get him now. I really like that face paint. He's got a lot of articulation. Prior to owning Tiger Shark, the last Marvel Legends action figure I bought was probably Weapon X. And again, that was before 2010, I want to say. I could be wrong, but definitely older, definitely a Toy Biz figure. You see me playing with his legs here. I'm just trying to get a feel for him. He's got this vest on. Oh, it's sweet. Bring it closer. He's got this vest. It actually snaps open and close. The vest comes off. It's softer plastic. And he's got a knife holder on the back. Yeah, his knife is in his back. So that's pretty cool. Let's see how it fits in his hand. It fits in his hand real knife-like. I'm not gonna lie, with the face he's making, the overall size of this dude, and a knife, if this guy were to walk towards me down the street menacingly, I would be intimidated. I'm a big dude myself, so if Nuke, Marvel's Nuke, ran up on me in the streets of Baltimore, which is where I live, best believe I would cower in fear. Let's check out the gun, his rifle. I don't know anything about guns, so I can't tell you if this is an actual gun that you could purchase if you were into guns, or I put it in his left hand because his knife was in his right hand. Let me just go ahead and put his knife back in his back. I'm going to put his gun in his right hand. Most people are right-handed. I'm assuming Nuke is as well. And I'm going to see if he can grip it as if he were somewhat. Not really like aiming to shoot, but he is holding it as if he, if he were a soldier standing there, like, move along, citizen. I don't have a clue what he would sound like. So let's check out his articulation. I mentioned that briefly. As with all the Marvel Legends, there's a lot of articulation. I think that's what put me onto the series initially. Like, when I first saw them in the store, I was like, wow, that toy has a lot of articulation. And I was doing a lot of hands-on playing back then. But it's actually what's turned me off to the series. I am a diehard 90s 5-inch figure person, man. And these 6-inch figures, some of them are taller than that, or just a bit much. I remember back when I would really play with toys, that the bigger the figure was, like, the more like menacing it was. So when these started to come out, these big gigantic figures, man, they started to lose some of their novelty. But let me go back to what I was saying. His head swivels. He's got the swivel, the 360-degree swivel. It goes back. You can look back that far. His vest isn't prohibiting anything or inhibiting. And it goes down. You can hear the clicking, the crunching of his neck. A human's neck doesn't do that, but then again, a human's torso doesn't do this either. He's got the arms that go out like this because he's a big boy. He goes, "Rrr." He can do a muscle pose for mommy. Elbows are double jointed. There's this swivel right here at the bicep and the shoulder. Swivel at the wrist. Hinge at the wrist. Sorry. There's no finger articulation, which I knew was the case now. Just judging off the tiger shark. A lot of the Toy Biz ones, I can't say for all if all of them do, but a lot of them have finger articulation. There's a lot of articulation in his arms. Just if you just sort of add his two arms, he's already got more articulation than the majority of the toys from the 90s. Probably one of his arms. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Just one arm has more articulation than toys from the 90s, but I really like toys from the 90s. As you can see, this vest is pretty easy to get off. If this was a toy from the 90s, he would have been broken right there. Not that I'm talking crap, because I love my toys from the 90s, and as I was doing that, I can see that his belt comes up and down. It's made out of a similar material to the vest, which is a softer plastic than his body. Let's see what kind of abs he's working with. Yeah, he is a fit specimen, as you can see. He doesn't have that clicking like the Giantman, which I'm cool with either way, but his waist also swivels. Man, this dude is freaking toned. His legs go out that far. Move his arms out of the way that far. So he's not doing a full Jean-Claude Van Damme, but hey, it's more than I can do, and I'm a real person. Legs go up that far forward. He can sit perfectly if there were a chair. And his legs go, legs don't go that far back, but really, what do you need your legs to go back for? There's a swivel here, right here, where my left thumb is. And yeah, he can rotate 360. Yep, I'm assuming it's going to be the same on both sides. It's a little tighter. That one's a little bit looser. Double jointed knees. I have seen figures with a little more, range when it comes to that, but that's not bad. And there's a swivel at the boot on both sides. There's this joint here, allowing his foot to go that far. It's a little. That's probably the that hip swivel or thigh swivel was pretty tight. His foot is on a rocker, so a lot of posability here. And honestly, this is really fascinating to me, man. Like I said, this figure's old. Marvel Legends is old news, but this really impresses me. Let him get clothed. If I can get his clothes back on him. They came off so easily. Let me talk about his clothes. He has this he has these grenades here. They don't come off, but that's a cool detail. And he's got what looks like some shotgun shells. So maybe this is a shotgun. Doesn't look like any shotgun I've ever seen, but hey, I'm no expert. This belt that keeps his vest closed has a little silver buckle. There's a lot of little attention to detail all throughout his clothing, and it's pretty cool, honestly. It's pretty cool. There's like little effect here. You could feel that. He doesn't have nipples. I just noticed that, but he doesn't need nipples. He's a toy. And even then, he's a man. Men typically don't need nipples in general. He's got these little belts, a lot of pouches. He would fit right in the 90s in general with all his pouches and his So 5 pouches on the back and his buckles, and yeah, that was very 90s-esque. The only thing he doesn't have, and I would think he would have it if he was a soldier, would be just like a, like a holster on his leg somewhere with a knife. I mean, he does have these pouches. If he were a real person, he had these pouches that are useful. But as a toy or as a real person, you would think if he gets in a sticky a sticky situation, he would just reach down, pull out a knife. If he can't reach his back or his vest isn't on like it isn't now. I'm going to try to get this back on one more time. Again, it was really easy. There we go. You just got to bend his arms back. He doesn't get dressed like a normal person. You got to pull that belt down so you can buckle him up. I'm going to pop his crop top head off. Comes off pretty easily. The older Marvel Legends that I have don't do that, but he does it. Tiger Shark does it. I'm assuming it's a feature for newer Marvel Legends, Hasbro kind. And there he is. Now he's bald. Now when I showed this in the other video where I said it came in the mail, I said I had an interesting story about this guy. I'm going to stand him there with his bald head. And that interesting story is I initially ordered this guy off of eBay, and he was dirt cheap. He was I think I paid like $5 for him, which is actually what I paid for him, this version. But he was really cheap. And when he came, something was off about him. Like, I had looked at the pictures on the listing, and I didn't think about it, but it was really off. And I'm going to show you what I mean by it was really off. This is the Bootleg Nuke that came in the mail from China, if that tells you anything. As you're looking at him, a lot of similarities, almost exact same thing. He has a lot of articulation, doesn't have the double knee joints. This leg doesn't go up because this belt that Nuke has doesn't lift now. Vest doesn't come off. There's a little hole here, and that hole, I thought like the Chinese were trying to spy on me. That hole, I thought it was a camera. It's not a camera. It had a little button, and you press it in the back, and it would light up. And I've seen other toys on eBay like that, so I guess this is a Chinese thing. I guess their kids like light up toys. And now that I have the original, the real Nuke out of the package, I can stand these two side to side, and you can see that the fake is clearly shorter, which I could not tell in the packaging. He's like a lot shorter. He's like a whole forehead length shorter. His arms are some cheap plastic that aren't even the same color as his body. Not as much definition. You can see basically they just put this in like a mold and tried their best. And this toy was cheap. It clicks because I took that light out. This toy was cheap for someone who just wanted a toy. $5. You can't get mad at that. His head comes off. I do have a spare head. He came with all the accessories. Oh, look at that. Look at his back. Look at his back. His back is, you can see from the mold, the same color as the vest. But yeah, he came with all of his accessories. He came with the extra head, the gun, the knife. Like I said, his vest doesn't come off. But yeah, he's clearly not legit. Let's look at the two. I don't have the spare head next to me. Let's look at the two heads. This camera does not want to cooperate today. Does not want to cooperate. This whole video is probably going to be wasted. But look at the two heads. And although the fake head, which is in my left hand, is very detailed, it's clearly fake. Like, the only thing they got right really is the mustard yellow teeth. As you can see, like, his mask isn't even properly applied in the fake one, whereas the real one it is. His eyes, he's doing like this Undertaker friggin' roll his eyes in the back of his head, whereas the real one is, she's looking. You can see. Don't get me wrong, this head is awesome. It's still great. It's made out of different material too, it feels like, but it's fake. It's just not the real deal. I'm popping back on there. I got my money back for this fake one. Again, it was like $5. The listing said no returns, but the guy refunded me my money, no problem. But I'm going to keep him. I got no reason to throw him out or anything. He's cool. He's just not legit, and I thought it would be cool once I got him to show you guys how phony he looks. And this is only my first time actually doing the comparison because I just took Nuke out of the box. So yeah, that's pretty cool. There he is with the bald head, the bald cyborg head. I'm assuming these machinations are underneath this face paint as well. He's just not damaged. I'm gonna go ahead and pop on his original head. I knocked the fake Nuke down. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, he's got this Americana face paint, by the way, so he's going in the display for the summer season, the 4th of July display. Trying to get his, there we go. And I don't have the other gun with me, but I actually do like the fake Nuke's hands when it comes to the guns. It held it a lot better than the real one, but the real one is the real deal, and he's the man. Before I go, I'm going to compare his height. I got a ruler here. Nuke is just under 7 inches, whereas the fake one is about, it's almost the same on the ruler. I'm also going to compare him to my favorite Marvel Legends figure. And I can't tell you what series he came from, but Cable, wow, look at that height difference. Cable is legit just over 6 inches. He's shorter than the fake Nuke, and he's a whole head shorter than the real Nuke. Wow, I feel like Cable is such a little short punk right now. I love this Cable figure, by the way. Yeah, look at how short he is. I did not expect that. Did not expect that at all. I'm also going to compare him to a shirtless Savage Dragon. Oh, man. Oh, man, as you can see, the Savage Dragon is taller than him. That's only because of Mohawk. So the Savage Dragon is taller than Cable by a good amount. But he's dwarfed by Nuke still. And I'm going to show you another figure I know is 1,000,000 times taller than, that Nuke is 1,000,000 times taller than, but I just wanted to do a 90s comparison. Here is Medieval Spawn from McFarlane Toys. Oh man, he's dead in Nuke's chest. Like, come here, get some bosom. Oh man, it's crazy. And again, I knew that this Medieval Spawn was going to be a lot shorter. I did not expect that much shorter. Oh man, I did not expect that at all. So none of these are the same height. Maybe the fake Nuke is the same height as Savage Dragon, but I can't say for sure. Oh, I could. No, fake Nuke's still a little bit taller than him. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching this review. I'm just going to keep getting better with time. I am doing my best. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one.